Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrutyam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devi Saraswati Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtapraishu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavatim Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhagavati Naistaki. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So we're going to read Bhagavad Gita as it is. Today we're going to cover summary of chapter number 1 and 2, which we did last week, and then we'll continue with chapter number. Some part of chapter number 2 was left, so we'll cover that. Then chapter 3 and 4. We'll try to cover as much as we can. The teachings today we are going to learn from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Everybody can hold the book in the lap or in their hands, not on the floor. And Bhagavad Gita as it is translated from Sanskrit to English by Srila Prabhupada. So we're going to pray or pay our respects to Srila Prabhupada. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunvalitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Namah Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamini Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatare. So this is the Bhagavad Gita course, which is a 6 weeks course. Last was the first day, 6-day course. And every Saturday we're going to meet for today is the second, so next 4 more Saturdays, and we'll try to cover every Saturday 2 or 3 chapters at a time. There is no need of Sanskrit. Even though Bhagavad Gita is in Sanskrit, we try to simplify this course and making sure that we all can understand. So you will learn some Sanskrit shlokas, but without that also you will be fine. There will be some video presentation, some PowerPoint and quiz. So this is my Guru Maharaj, His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, who is the disciple of A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. So I learned, I got initiated by His Holiness Gopal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and he is based in Delhi, and he travels all over the world. He comes to Canada also, and hopefully next year he might visit Thunder Bay. Srila Prabhupada is, you can see big portrait. He established a society called as ISKCON, International Society for Krishna Consciousness. And the purpose of ISKCON is to spread the message of Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. Hare Krishna, welcome. Nice to see you. Have a seat. Well done. Have a seat. Very nice. Yes, you're going to read this at the end. Okay? Keep it with you. Thank you so much. Have a seat. Hare Krishna, welcome. So, Srila Prabhupada translated Bhagavad Gita from Sanskrit to English, and we are able to learn this Bhagavad Gita because of the blessing of Srila Prabhupada. So, objectives of this course, of course, we want to learn the shlokas, right? But along with that, we want to learn the basics of Bhagavad Gita. We are going to cover important shlokas. We'll learn the meaning of those shlokas, and the last but not the least is how to apply it in our daily life, right? So that is one of the most important objective of Bhagavad Gita study. How can we learn and how can we apply? Hare Krishna, welcome, Pranav, welcome. Please have a seat. Hare Krishna, Krishna bless you. Please have a seat. So Bhagavad Gita has been translated from Sanskrit to English by Srila Prabhupada, but then it has been translated into many other languages, like in Gujarati, in Tamil, Malayalam, Marathi, Hindi, all the languages Bhagavad Gita has been translated. Bhagavad Gita has been appreciated by philosophers like Henry David Thoreau, Ralph Waldo Emerson, great personalities like Mahatma Gandhi, Albert Einstein. So everybody has appreciated Bhagavad Gita to a greatest extent from people from all the walks of life. So it has been the greatest philosophical, it's a jewel of India's Vedic wisdom. If you summarize all the Vedas, everything, it is there in Bhagavad Gita, right? So Bhagavad Gita has total 18 chapters. So we are studying the chapters number four. Last week we started with chapter number 1, 2, and today we'll continue with further. So every chapter of Bhagavad Gita is a yoga book. It's a science about yoga. So first 6 chapters, Lord Krishna talks to Arjuna about Karma Yoga. The middle 6 chapters, Lord Krishna talks to Arjuna about Bhakti Yoga. And last 6 chapters, Jnana Yoga. But yoga means connection or linking. And what is that linking of? Linking of body, mind, soul with super soul, Paramatma. So it's all connection together. Currently we are disengaged, disconnected. Like mind is somewhere else, the body is somewhere else, and the soul, we don't know about it. When we don't know about the soul, then we don't know anything about the super soul also, Paramatma, right? So we have very little harmony, and Bhagavad Gita brings us all together. So it's all in one line. And then when everything is streamlined, what happens? You get peace. When mind is somewhere else, the body is here, the heart wants something else, then there's a disharmony. If every member of the family uh, does something of their own, then it's not useful, right? Like say if a chariot is running with 5 horses and one horse goes to straight line, another horse goes to the left, another horse goes to the right, what happens? Disconnection. The chariot will go, won't move at all, or even if it moves, like it won't be a happy ride. Similarly, if the eyes want something, the ears want something, the mind wants something, and the heart wants something different, and the whole society wants something different, your family members want something different, you want something different, then it will be a real problem, right? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So Bhagavad Gita brings us all together on one platform. So we all become connected. That's called yoga, union or connecting or linking. So we're going to link ourselves in one straight line. So then it's all good. So you can link yourself through karma. You can link yourself through bhakti. Hare Krishna. Welcome, welcome. You can take Bhagavad Gita here, Aditya ji, uh, and distribute to our friends also there. So we can get united, linked through this supreme super soul, through karma. Karma means our actions or activities, through jnana, through knowledge, and through our devotion. Devotion means service, right? So we are going to learn all this. So last week we started with chapter number 1, and that was called as Arjuna Vishad Yoga. So everybody did some little homework, hopefully, little bit homework, we get assigned. So maybe we can start from our friend. You can read what you learned about chapter number 1 and chapter number 2, what we discussed. You can read also and tell everybody, read loudly. Is that okay? You want to read? You don't understand? Okay, what did you write? Can I read it for you? Give me, I will read it for you. Okay, so you just introduce yourself to everybody. Okay, introduce yourself to our friend who has just come. Have a seat, have a seat. Tell about yourself to him.
My name is Aditya.
Uh-huh.
I am in grade 5 and I am a student at a Qualcomm Modern Public School.
Mm-hmm.
And I go and I'm here at this course to learn Sanskrit.
Very nice. Okay.
Do you mind?
Drumel. Adrik. So Adrik has done his homework. So what Adrik has done is he has written all the shlokas in Sanskrit. Okay, that is his homework. Very nice. Big round of applause to Adrik. Very good. So what he has done is from chapter number 1, he has written his shloka number 1.4, 1.5, 1.6, 1.7, 1.8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. And he has handwritten. Is that your handwriting? What beautiful handwriting you have. So you wrote it from the book? Oh, nice. And do you know how to pronounce the shlokas? You tried? Yeah. And did you try to read the English translation of the shlokas? Yeah. And what is the gist you got out of the shlokas?
That they were starting the battle.
Yes, very nice.
First, that Dhritarashtra asked that, "Oh Sanjay, how is the battle go?" Then Sanjay said, "There's something." Then we learned about that Arjuna saw his relatives in different grades of rank, so he got compassion.
Very
And he
nice.
also learned that compassion in the wrong way can lead us to weakness too.
Big round of applause to Arjun. He's such a young little boy, but he understood the gist of the first chapter. And more than that, I have never seen anybody doing the homework so sincerely, writing all the Sanskrit shlokas. So, and he summarized the first chapter very nicely. What did he say? Can somebody repeat? What did he say last sentence?
He saw his relative as a compassion.
Uh-huh.
It should never go in the wrong way.
Wrong direction. Very nice. Very nice. Thank you, Adrik. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, anybody else did the homework? Yes, I know Vishnu did something. Yes, Vishnu, you want to say something? You can read it. Yeah, you can read it. Actually, nice. I like that. Yeah.
It's as a summary of the first. The first is the battlefield of Kurukshetra, explaining about the battlefield.
Uh-huh.
So the first Sanjay is Dhritarashtra is asking Sanjay what is happening over there. So the situation is like the Pandavas is on one side and the Kauravas on the other side, and mostly in the first chapter saying about all the fighters. Like Bhima is the captain for Pandavas and Bhishma, their grandfather, is the captain for the Kauravas. And Dronacharya is a master of both, like Pandavas and Kauravas.
Nice.
And they are telling about Drupada, father-in-law of Arjuna.
Yes.
And um, there is a person called Drishtadyumna.
Drishtadyumna.
He has the ability to kill Dronacharya. So Duryodhana is uh, is saying to Dronacharya, see, all these people are here on the Pandava side. You should take care of the tumor. I am
Drishtadyumna, yes.
Yeah, okay. And we should fight. And our side is also we have mighty warriors. So Duryodhana inside he has the fear because Lord Krishna is with Pandavas.
Yes.
But Duryodhana is making sure his captain, not captain, Dronacharya, his guru, is is ready to give his 100% because he loves Arjuna and Pandavas. And Arjuna says to Krishna, "Can you please take me for a round to see both sides?" And Arjuna felt compassion, and when he saw all his brothers and everyone, he felt even though he is very strong in his mind, he became weak, and he told to Krishna, "I can fight because this will bring only misfortune
Yes.
to me."
Yes. Very nice.
So
Go ahead.
That's
That's the first chapter. Very nice.
And in the second chapter, Krishna is listening to all Arjuna's uh, questions, and at last Arjuna says, "I shall not fight," and he asks Krishna to lead him or give him mm, he becomes Lord's disciple and seek for help. So in the second chapter is saying seek for help on uncertain situations. Like if you can't decide, ask for a guru. And Lord Krishna starts telling you can't kill anyone because the soul is uh, indestructible, eternal, unborn, and immature to kill. So if you kill a person, it's just the body. It's just like changing the dress. Uh, so everything is decided by the Godhead, Lord Krishna. So you are just become a part of what He decided.
Very
So
nice.
the wise, they won't lament neither for the living or not for the dead, because it's all like a part of transmigration. The soul changes one body to another.
Very nice.
And it goes.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And in the last it says a person can escape from this life cycle like that, but by doing devotional service to God, so that he can free from the cycle of birth and death, and he can go back to Godhead.
Very nice. Big round of applause to Vishnu. Such a wonderful work. You've literally gone through every shloka probably, and try to identify the name of the warriors: Drishtadyumna, Chekitana, Kashiraja, Puryava. Very nice, very nice. You have done a wonderful, and you summarize the second chapter also very well. That if you want to get out of the cycle, then you have to do the bhakti yoga. Very nice, very nice. Anybody else? How would you?
Oh, I'm not
No?
following you, but I would like to summarize the chapter.
Okay, go ahead, go ahead.
So, the conclusion and the summary of these both chapters, we can conclude that compassion in the wrong direction can lead to weakness, as same scene was with Arjun. So Arjun got compassionated by his relatives and the friends and the gurus. So he felt like that I should not fight. I will, if I will win also, I will lose something. So his compassion uh, uh, leads him to wrong direction, and he didn't want to
Fight.
fight. Yes.
Yes.
So we should not get much more compassion in wrong direction. That's our weakness. And in the second chapter, we can conclude that Lord Krishna tells Arjuna that life, there is no birth and death. So life transforms from one soul, one body to another body. Soul is immortal. So it takes another body, another shape, another size.
Nice.
But it never dies. And Arjuna got confused when he saw the whole Kurukshetra, that he should have fight or not.
Sure. Yes.
So then we can conclude that whenever we get confused, there should be one person, let it call as guru or guide or friend. We can follow him, we can listen to him, so that he can guide us and can lead to a good
Very
future,
nice.
good life.
Very nice. Very nice. Big round of applause to Pranav. Wonderful. Thank you so much. Thank you. Anybody else? Harvey?
So I read about the background of chapter 2 a bit. In that I heard that it was not actually Lord Krishna giving the words, it was actually Lord Kal who entered the body of Sri Krishna.
Where did you read that one from?
I just looked up on Google and said
Google is.
Yeah, maybe it might
Anybody
be
can
wrong.
write. It's not there in Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah, it's not there, but there's some evidence in chapter 11 of
So
Bhagavad
Krishna
Gita.
himself is a Kala, time. Krishna says that Kalosmi.
He is Kal, yeah.
But that does not mean that the Kala enter into the Krishna's body. Krishna himself, they say that time is God. Because Krishna is God. So Krishna is speaking, but that mention is not there in Bhagavad Gita that Kala entered into the Krishna's body.
Yeah, it's not mentioned there, but there's
So
some evidence.
people can interpret,
Yeah.
but we want to interpret as it is. We don't want to misinterpret, right? That's why we want to be very careful about Google search, and that's why we have a hard copy of Bhagavad Gita. Because Google is, anybody can write anything about anyone in the Google, right? I can write anything about you, and people can read about you and say, oh my God, he's such a bad guy. So then you go and talk to the person, and then you know the person, oh, the Google is not correct. So don't read Google, for correct information. Read the scripture, read the book. Books are basis, and whatever the books you have, you can have a soft copy of a book. That is fine. You can have a e-copy of a book. That is fine. But to read somebody's misinterpretation can be harmful. So it's not, there is nowhere mentioned that Kala entered into Krishna's body,
Yeah.
but Krishna says that yes, I am the time. In 11th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says, Kalos me, all the people, I am the time, I am the devouring time, which means that those people who surrender to Krishna, the Krishna comes himself in front of them as Krishna, as a god. But those who do not surrender, then they ultimately face Krishna in the form of death. Right? So that is what it is. Anyway, so without that Google thing, just say what we discussed.
Yeah, sure. So in the second chapter, Krishna is also telling about the Nishkam karma,
Ah,
that we should perform our duties without expecting the
very nice.
results.
Very nice.
And in that, Arjun is basically scared of the results of the war,
Mm-hmm.
because in the end he doesn't know who will die.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe on his side and on the opposite side.
Mm-hmm.
On both the sides, there will be losses of his
Yes.
own,
Yes.
and he doesn't want to rule a kingdom that is stained by the blood of his own relatives.
Very nice.
So Sri Krishna is telling him that he shouldn't be afraid of his karma,
Mm-hmm.
and a person who is free from emotions, such as a person who doesn't get happier when there is happiness around, and
Yes.
a person who doesn't get sad when there is sad events, that is a steady mind or steady state. I think I read the Sanskrit word, but I don't remember it.
Yes, yes, yes. No problem.
But yeah, so that person is who stays like that for his life, and in the time of death as well, he can get free from the life death cycle.
Very nice. Very nice. Big round of applause to Harvik. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else wants to say? Did you read?
I just came.
I know. I know. Yeah.
I just heard from you.
Okay. Okay. What's your name?
My name is Krushit.
Crucial?
Krushit.
Krushit?
Krushit.
Okay. Would you like to introduce yourself to everybody?
My name is Krushit. I'm from India. I'm from Gujarat. I've done my bachelor's in physiotherapy and now I'm in Confederation College.
Very nice. Physiotherapy. Very nice. Welcome. Nice to have you all.
Thank you.
Okay. Anybody else wants to say something, or should we move ahead then? Is that okay? Yeah. Okay. Let's do. Everybody has very nicely done the homework. I'm really happy with all of you. Really, really nice. And special round of applause to Ardvik for writing it up, and especially Sanskrit slokas. It's really challenging. So I'm going to keep it with me. Is that okay? Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. So, Bhagavad Gita, we'll briefly go over what we did and what you all talked, and we'll move further. Bhagavad Gita, as it is, first chapter of Bhagavad Gita is called as Arjun Vishad Yoga. Vishad means lamentation. We all lament for something. We lose something, we lament. If we have possibility of losing something, we are disturbed, like that. So lamentation is part of our life. But then Lord Krishna helps Arjuna to overcome lamentation. Huh? So, in the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, total first 26 shlokas is the arrangement of army, as Vishnu nicely described it. All the army, everybody has gathered on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Kauravas, Pandavas on either side. They are willing to fight. At that time, Arjuna asked Lord Krishna to take the chariot between the two armies. As soon as he sees his family members, friends, he becomes overwhelmed with the emotion, compassion, and he becomes confused. He gives lots of argument to Lord Krishna that, oh, these are my guru, these are my grandfather, my brothers, soldiers, why should I kill them at the cost of just a piece of land? And if they die, it is sinful to kill someone. If they die, who will look after their family and children and wives? And what's the use of gaining all this at the cost of the life of my family members and friends? Sounds very logical, sounds very emotional, compassionate, and he demonstrates his compassion through his words. He says that Drishtvam Swajanam Krishnam Yutsam Samupastitam Siddhanti Mama Gatrani Mukham Cha Parishushyati. Mukham means mouth. His mouth starts drying up because he is nervous now. you know. And he says that seeing my family members and friends before me in such a fighting spirit, my mouth is drying, and um, I'm not able to stand. My limbs are quivering, you know. So his body is quivering. He starts trembling on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, which is not a good sign, right? And then he further says to Krishna, I am now unable to stand here any longer. I am forgetting myself. My mind is reeling. I see only cause of misfortune. So, excessive attachment for the material things is not good actually. If you love your phone so much that if that you lose that phone, you lose your life, and that is not good. A phone is a phone, right? It's not much. You can get another phone. You should not get too much disturbed and angry, and because you can buy another phone, but the time which you lose, you will never get back. So when we are attached to such a material things, then it confuses us actually. So we have to be very careful.
Can you just explain the basic description about all the characters like Pandavas and Kauravas?
Yeah, sure. So Kauravas and Pandavas, they are the cousin brothers. They are Kauravas are the children of Dhritarashtra. Pandavas are children of Pandu, and Dhritarashtra was blind from the birth, so he was not made as a king. And Pandu was appointed as a king because even though he was younger, but he was the one who was capable physically and mentally and spiritually. So he was appointed as a king. And then when Pandu died, Dhritarashtra was appointed as a caretaker. Until if you read like first few chapters, you will come across the names like Drishtadyumna he mentioned, Dronacharya, Drupada. So Dronacharya is the guru of Pandava and Kauravas, and Drupada is brother of Dronacharya. There was a fight between Drupada and Dronacharya. Drupada and Dronacharya, they studied together, but then Dronacharya, being Brahman, a very poor man, one day Dronacharya goes to ask some help from his friend Drupad, who is a king now. But when you get some money, you get ego. So egoistic Drupada refused to help. So at that time, he humiliates Dronacharya. So Dronacharya then, when he trains Pandavas and Kauravas, he asks the Guru Dakshina. So he asked Kauravas and Pandavas, go and capture that Drupada, who was once upon my friend, but he humiliated me. So they captured the Drupada. And Drupada is dethroned now. He becomes the slave. So Dronacharya acquires the kingdom of Drupada. Then he says, I'm being very kind, I give you half kingdom back. So Drupada becomes very angry. My kingdom is giving me back. So he does a tapasya. And with tapasya, he does to get a son who can kill Dronacharya. And that's how Drishtadyumna is born. Drishtadyumna's purpose is to kill Dronacharya. But the same Drishtadyumna is sent to Dronacharya for getting knowledge of. Now, Dronacharya knows that this is the person who is going to kill me. But this is the role of a guru. Guru will never refuse anybody. So he says, okay, I know this is going to kill me, but still, it is my duty as a guru to teach him. So he teaches him everything. So Duryodhan, before the starting of the war, says to Dronacharya, look at that guy, Drupada, who is going to kill you. Now you gave him all the science. Now he's going to use it against us. You made a mistake. And we are going to pay the price like that. So this is the history. It's a long history, but this is just a nutshell. There are a lot of fighters, beautiful fight history. If time permits, I can go for a whole day, Mahabharata history. But time is short. But we'll talk about it in the lunch time. Okay. So Arjuna is forgetting himself because he's close friend of everybody. Like we don't want to fight with our friends, and that's logical. But sometimes emotions, logics comes in between your duty, and that is what's happening here. Is that Arjuna becoming very compassionate, and he says to Krishna that I'm not going to fight, and he puts aside his bow and arrow, right? And then in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita, we're going to learn two basic things: Sankhya Yoga and Buddhi Yoga. So he says in the shloka of second chapter, Arjuna says to Lord Krishna, Karpanya dashokta svabhava pruchami tvam dharma sambodha cheta yachayasha nishchitam tu bruhitan me shishyateham sadhimam tvam prapannam. So he says, Sishyateham sadhimam tvam prapannam. He is confused and he says, Hey Krishna, I'm surrendering to you. I'm becoming your disciple. We should have a guru in our life. This is very important. Guru is somebody who gives you spiritual, moral directions. He can be Guru can be your father, mother. But what is the qualification of Guru? That is very important. You should not pick Tom, Dick, and Harry as a Guru who doesn't know anything. Huh? A blind leading another blind, what happens? A blind leading another blind, what happens? Both goes in a ditch. हाँ, एक अंधा दूसरे अंधे को कहाँ लेके जाएगा? अंधेरे में लेके जाएगा. इसलिए we have to find a guru who has a qualification. And what is the qualification of a guru? So guru should have a qualification like Krishna. So guru will take you to Krishna. Guru will never say, I am between you worship me or like that. Guru will take you to Krishna. Guru will say, oh, this is what Bhagavad Gita says, you follow. Guru will never say, I feel like that, because he will read, he will direct to Bhagavad Gita. So that is the qualification of a guru. So here, Shishyateham sadhimam trapannam. And then second chapter 11 to 30th shloka, Lord Krishna talks about Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya literally means analytical. Like anybody from medicine background would know that when you study medicine, you study anatomy, then physiology, then biochemistry, then microbiology, then pharmacology, then pathology, like that. You study one at a time. Similarly, Lord Krishna, Sankhya, analytically, he divides the human existence into various different parts. So he says, okay, you have this body. That is one thing. Most of the people identify themselves with body. We see our pictures, this is me, this is me. But that picture changes every 5 years, 10 years, right? Everybody agrees? Like when you were small, your picture was different. If you show me your picture when you were 1 year old, I would not identify, but you will say, this is me. And then when you're 10 years old, you look different and you say, this is me. And now most of you are 20s, so you say, this is me. And then when you become like 50 like me, your picture is different. So even though that person looks different, but still you say, this is me. So what is that me? That is a problem. We identify ourselves with the temporary things, which is changing actually. But actually we are constant. Because that me is constant. Even though the picture is changing, what is constant? The me is constant. And that me is, Lord Krishna teaches in Bhagavad Gita as Sankhya Yoga, soul. Spirit, Atma, हम जिसको कहते हैं, वो है me. So Lord Krishna says, न त्वेऽहं जातु नाशं न त्वं नेमे जनाधिपः न चैव न भविष्यामः सर्वे वयम् अतः परम्. Never was a time when I did not exist, nor you, nor all these kings, nor in the future, all of us cease to be. So we are eternal actually. We have been trapped, like you take a particular thing and you put it in a bottle. You say water or juice or whatever, you put in a bottle. What happens? The bottle was already there, and then you put the juice. Now you take out that juice from the bottle and then put it in a glass. What did change? What was the change now? Just the container change. The juice is the same. Is that right? Similarly, we all are put into this body, but then once this body is useless, you are put into another container, then third container, the fourth container. The container shape changes, the size changes, the external appearance of container changes, but you are the same. That is what it is. So Lord Krishna says that we are all eternal. So we are all eternal and individual. We have individuality also as well. So you should not worry. So Lord Krishna is trying to alleviate the anxiety of Arjuna that, oh, I will kill them. He says, no, you're not going to kill them because everybody is eternal here. But that does not mean that Lord Krishna is promoting violence here. Okay? That doesn't mean that, okay, everybody is eternal, let's start shooting everybody. Right? Or let's start killing the animals. No, that is not there. Lord Krishna is telling Arjuna because it is Arjuna's duty to, like a policeman's duty is to punish others, you know. If a policeman becomes kind and compassionate, then everybody is freelance. Huh? Let's go and loot everybody. Doesn't matter. Because police are very kind. So what's up? So here Arjuna's duty is as a soldier to punish others. You know, in that punishment, he has to fight. Is that okay? So then Lord Krishna further gives very important concept here. Dehinosmin yatha dehe kaumaram yauvanam jara tatha dehantara praptir dhiras tatrana muyati. Dhira means a sober person, you know. A sober is one who has his head on the shoulder. Sober. There are two people. One is sober and confused. Sober means who knows what's going around and he will figure out the right way out. That is called sober person. Dhira. And another opposite of dhira is adhira. Adhira means he's jumpy, confused. You know, there are some people who are always confused because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know why they come to Canada. What are they doing? What are they supposed to do? This just somebody forced them to come, and they are here now. Now what do I do? There's crying, lamenting. That's what happened with Arjuna. He was pushed. He didn't know what he's doing actually, but he just came in the war, and then he started crying. So Lord Krishna is saying that Dhira is the one who knows the process. And what is the process? We are going to leave this body one day. So not to worry about it too much. We all are too much worried about death. But death is compulsory. It can come anytime. So what do? Not to get scared of the death, but whatever the time we have, we use it for the right cause. Right? So that is the very important part. So then Lord Krishna says, as the embodied soul continuously passes in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly at the time of death, it will pass into another body. A person who is sober is not bewildered by such a change, right? So this is compulsory. Everybody will have to go. You know? We all are in the queue. हम सब लाइन में लगे हैं. कहाँ? We are going to change the body. We all are in the queue. We don't know when somebody will be picked up from that queue. सब लोग लाइन में खड़े. You know, when you go to India, in there's a religion called there's a festival called Eid. ईद के दिन क्या करते हैं? वो बकरे को काटते हैं. They cut the goat. तो वो सब गोट ऐसे लाइन में लगे रहते हैं. मैंने देखा नहीं है, मैंने सिर्फ सुना है. I haven't seen, but I've heard that all the goats are in the line. And what do? They feed all the goats. सब खाना पीना खिलाते हैं उनको. और all the goats are happy actually because they're eating nice grass, nice food. All the goats are healthy, happy. But you never know. The goat doesn't know which one is going to get sold and get killed. And like half an hour before, that goat was eating a grass, and half an hour after, she's killed. But the poor goat, would she have known that after half an hour she's been killed, what would happen? The goat will be frightened. She tried to run away from that. But goat doesn't know it. Similarly, we all are like the goats, you know. We all are just spending our time somewhere or other. But if we know that half an hour after we are going to die, what will you do? Suppose I come and tell you after half an hour we are going to die. You will say, okay, this is half an hour, it's very important. Huh? Let's talk to my father, let's talk to my mother. We'll talk very close family, friends. Maybe we come to Krishna and pray, or maybe we meditate, or we do something, you know. So we'll take that half an hour very seriously because that is the last half hour we have, right? But if we don't know, then we waste that time. So considering every moment as the last moment, that is called as sober, dhira. Dhira is one who knows that, okay, life is very temporary. Whatever the time I have, I must use it for right cause. That is dhira. You understand this? So because we have to change the body. So whatever the time I have, I'm going to use it for good things. Right? So then we talked about some proof for the existence of the soul. Some people may not believe. So we talked about logical, scientific. We talked about that video. You remember the video? The boy remembering his past life. Huh? So those who were not here, you can go to our temple Facebook page, and the video is there. Okay. So sometimes somebody dies, we say he's passed away. Who has passed away? The body is still here. So what is that gone? Soul, Atma, right? Then we talked about some scientists, proving the evidences. Dr. Michael Subam, Raymond Moody, near-death experiences of the people. And then this is the Dr. Ian Stevenson, who has done experiment on 3,000 young children remembering their past lives. So all this, what does it do? It reinforces that the soul is there. And then if you know the soul is there, then what did we need to know about more then about the soul? So we are the spirit soul. I am a spirit soul. Then do I need to know more about my soul? Yes, because I am the soul, right? So then Lord Krishna talks about more qualities of the soul. Does soul have a size? Yes, soul do have a size actually. And what is the size of the soul? Which is mentioned in Mundaka Upanishad. It is mentioned that if you take the tip of the hair, not the hair, the tip of the hair, and divide it into 10,000 parts. How much? 10,000. So tip of the hair, 10,000 part. It's very tiny, miny. You can't even see it. That is the size of the soul. And that size of the soul is same for everybody. Whether it is a human, or whether it's an elephant, or a small ant, or a smallest insect, or a bacteria, whatever it is, the soul is the same size in all of us. You understand this? So that is the size of the soul. Then the shape of the soul. Soul do have a shape. Yes, soul do have a shape. What are the qualities of the soul? So Lord Krishna further describes that Nainam chindanti shastrani nainam dahati pavaka na chainam kledyanti apo na shoshati maruta. So Lord Krishna says that the soul can never be chindanti. Chindanti means cut. You cannot cut the soul. Why? So small. You cannot even see with the microscope. Electron microscope or any microscope you bring, you cannot see the soul. Then nainam dahati pavaka. Pavaka means fire. You cannot burn it with dahati, fire. Fire cannot burn it. Why? Because it's very tiny, right? And then na chainam kledyanti apo. It cannot be moistened by water. Na maruta. Maruta means wind. It cannot be withered by the wind. Nothing can happen to the soul. So we are so bulletproof. Our identity is very proof. Right? We are eternal, right? So this is the brief. The body and the soul are distinct actually. We are not the bodies actually. So that is the main subject matter of this second chapter. This is the foundation of the spirituality or any religion or any dharma. The foundation is that I am not Sharira. So I am born in a Hindu family this life, but my soul might go into another body which is born in a Muslim family. So am I Hindu or Muslim? Who am I? I am neither Muslim neither Hindu because I am a spirit soul. It is the body which is either we label it as Hindu or Muslim. I am a male body now, and next life my soul goes into a female body. So am I a male or a female? I am a neither because it's just the bottle. It's just the container which is looking. I'm born in an Indian family or India country, and next life I am born in Africa. So am I Indian or African? I'm neither actually because I'm a spirit soul. I'm a pure. I do not have these labels. He, she, Indian, Canadian, American. Soul has no such labels, right? So body and soul are distinct. So when we identify somebody as an Indian, Canadian, boy, girl, black, white, Hindu, Muslim, what is that? That is a misidentification actually. That is because you do not have a knowledge, so you are identifying. That is called as the Pandita means one who is knowledgeable, and one who does not have a knowledge is ignorant, Ajnana. So then you try to discriminate others. But if you understand the Bhagavad Gita, then Bhagavad Gita never teaches about Hindu Muslim. Bhagavad Gita is not a Hindu book. Bhagavad Gita is for the soul. And what is soul? Soul is neither Hindu nor Muslim. Soul is soul. So body and soul are distinct. The soul is active, the body is inert. As long as the soul is there, the body will act. Otherwise, it will not act, right? And the body is just an instrument, like a car. You are traveling in the car. You and the car are different, right? You sit in the car as a driver, and you sit in the car as a passenger. And the car itself is a different thing. You understand? So when you see a car, you say, this is my car, right? You say me car. You say me car. Why? Because you and car are different. Similarly, you say, this is my body. What does that mean? Do you ever say me body? You never say, because we know that we are not this body actually. When you say my car and my body, which means that I am the owner of the car, I am the owner of the body. So I am different than the car, I am different than the body. My book, my computer, my table, my house. Never say me house, because we know that I am the house are different. Similarly, when little boy also, like 2-year-old boy, my nose, my ear, my lips, my cheek, my legs. So that little boy also knows that I am not his body, I am the owner of this body.
Because we possess that thing.
Pardon?
Because we possess those things.
We possess, yes, we are possessor, correct, that is it. Like I own it, but I am not that thing. So if I lose this, then I will buy another one. I don't have to worry about it because I am distinct, right? So body is an instrument, right? So we don't have to identify ourselves with instrument, right? Because we are more than instrument, right? So this is what Lord Krishna is saying, that the material body changes, the soul does not change. And then the body is like just a dress. Here you can see that this man wearing shirt, on the top there is a, what is that called, a waist, and then there is another jacket, right? So there are 3 layers, right? 1, 2, 3 layers, and then the himself. So similarly the soul, and then there are 2 coverings. There are gross covering and the subtle covering. Gross is this body. It's called sthula sharira. What is it called? Sthula. Sthula means which you see with the eyes. Right? So what do you see with the eyes? You see my hands, you can see my legs, you can see my eyes, and then if you cut it, you will see the blood coming out, then you see the muscle, you see underneath the bone, then there is a blood, and then there is a urine, and then so many gases, and what happens when you die? All this is finished. It goes back into the earth. They burn the body, or they bury the body, or whatever the things you do. Body is useless after you are dead, right? Nobody wants like body in the house after you're dead. Body is dead, people say कभी लेके जाएंगे, जल्दी लेके जाओ, बहुत smell आता है. It smells a bad thing because nobody wants body. The body is looking beautiful, like you have a film actors and actresses, they look beautiful, but when they die, body is burned. Nobody looks after the body because that beauty in the hero or heroine was because of Atma actually. Uh, if you have $1 million gold ornament and if you put around a dead body, it won't look good. But the same ornament you put around a living person, it look beautiful because that's a living. So this is a gross body, and then the subtle body. Subtle body is man, buddhi, and ahankar, and then Atma. You see, he's saying is correct. That's correct. Let him say. So there are two. That is 2 coverings. Okay. So this is one covering. This is second covering. You see that? And then my hand. Okay. So I'm putting my hand, and there are 2 coverings. The outer covering is the sharira, which you can see. The inner covering is the mind, intelligence. We don't see the mind, right? Can you see your mind? You can perceive the mind through the actions, like Adrik is talking. So I mean, I understand he's an intelligent boy. I cannot see his intelligence, but I can perceive his intelligence. I cannot see your mind, but I can perceive your mind because you are attentive, you are careful. So mind you cannot see. Like people who lose their mental balance, what happens? They go crazy. People have got bipolar disorder, depression. Have you seen anybody like with depression or craziness? Yeah. What happens to them? They externally look normal. The CT scan, MRI, brain will look normal, but they're crazy. So that is the mind. Mind, doctors cannot treat mental disorders. Why? Because mind cannot be seen and cannot be understood. Intelligence also is can be perceived but cannot be seen. So this is the subtle body. So we have all the mind intelligence, and then we have ego. What is ego? Ego is your self identity. So what happens when we die? The gross body is finished. What happens to the gross body? It goes into earth back. Pancha Mahabhuta. You know Pancha Mahabhuta? Bhumi Apo Nalo Vayu. Huh? So this Pancha Mahabhuta merge into. But then what happens is that this mind, along with the intelligence and ego, it carries the Atma to another body. So mind is the same. You have been carrying the same mind since millions and millions of lives. So when you were insect, you had the same mind. When you were animal, you had the same mind. When you were a monkey, you had the same mind. And now you are a human, you have the same mind, because mind remains the same. It comes with you. That is why you can remember your past lives. That is why some children, when they are like 2 3 years, they play music piano like they're like a super champion. Have you seen that in the music shows? हाँ? वो म्यूजिक शो आता है सारे गामा पा, उसमें छोटे लिटिल चैम्प्स आते हैं. हाँ, देखा है आपने कभी? उसमें ऐसे ऐसे बच्चे गाने गाते हैं, ऐसा लगता है कि ये तो they have been studied music for like 30 40 years, because they're carrying this mind, and mind has all the memories, so it carries to another life. So that's why we saw that video. The child could remember his past life as a fighter pilot. You remember the video? Because the mind carries the memory. Actually, there is a process called hypnotism. If we all undergo hypnotism, then we can remember our past lives up to 2 or 3 lives. But Krishna has made us to forget, because it is a protective mechanism. Imagine you remember all your past lives. You will go nuts, because then you are in trouble, right? Because you have so many children, so many families. It's a crazy thing. So this is the subtle body, right? So we can also compare with the chariot. In the chariot, you can see that there is a passenger, there is a driver, then there is a rein, lagam, and then there are horses. So what are these horses? These horses are the five senses: eyes, nose, ears, tongue, belly. And then mind is the one who controls the horses, and the mind is controlled by intelligence. And who is the passenger there? Soul. Soul is inert, but soul has to travel wherever the intelligence carry, and then intelligence will carry and command to mind, and mind will give to. So now who is most important here? Most important is the intelligence, because intelligence is going to drive your whole thing. Now suppose this whole chariot is controlled by the horses, what will happen? The intelligence is saying something, but the mind is saying something, and the horses are saying, "Oh, I don't listen to any of you." Then what will happen? The crazy thing will happen, right? And that's what is happening in our life actually. That our eyes want to see something, and the mind says, "Oh, I want to see something different." But intelligence says, "Don't look at those are troublemakers." But still we go and watch something on the internet or Facebook or something, and which creates a problem in our mind. The person who drinks alcohol knows that alcohol is not good. Person who takes the drugs knows that drugs are not good. But what happens? They get addicted. Why? Because the senses and the mind become powerful. Intelligence knows that if they take drugs, they're going to die. Is that right? Every drug addict who dies knows that they will die because of drugs. People who go for gambling in casino, they know that they're going to get bankrupt. But why that happens? Because the horses and horses doesn't listen to mind, and mind doesn't listen to intelligence, right? So who suffers here? The poor passenger. Soul who is inert, now being dragged from one body to another because of bad karmas. You understand? And the karmas are carried out by senses and the mind. Intelligence knows that this is not good. So Krishna in Bhagavad Gita gives us the information how to bring this chariot back into balance. Do you all agree this is happening in our life? Yeah, we all know, right? Something which is not to be done, but we do it.
How
Huh?
the body travels without within standing, but while doing speak and music and like.
Yeah, so that is what is the higher intelligence, right? So now we all are sitting here with all our senses, mind, intelligence in one direction. What is that direction? Given by the Bhagavad Gita, the higher direction. You understand? We all are in the one plane at this time. Your body is in one plane, your mind is in one plane, your intelligence is one plane, right? So this is the ideal situation. This will happen if we engage ourselves under the guidance of higher authority, under the guru. A child, when is under the control of a parent, the child is well behaved. Similarly, we need a higher authority, that is super soul. We'll talk about that. Huh? So, everybody okay? If you are not comfortable, I can give you a chair. Please, huh? Be comfortable. Huh? ठीक हो आप? Yeah. Anybody not feeling comfortable, please get a seat. Huh? So here another analogy, just as I say, driver and the car are distinct, right? Similarly, the bird and the cage are distinct, right? We talked about this analogy, bird and the cage. So the cage is the body and the bird is the Atma. Huh? So now you whole time looking about the body, polishing the body. Huh? But then what happens to Atma? The bird is dead. Huh? So if you don't feed the bird, then what will happen? The bird will die. Similarly, if you don't feed the Atma, what will happen? The Atma will not be happy. Huh? Right?
The Atma is the body and then it goes to another body.
Atma, yes. So when the body is finished, the Atma has to go. So the fuel for the body is different, fuel for the Atma is different. So like say you drive the car, right? So what type of fuel your car takes? Maybe gas, right? Somebody's car has electric as a fuel. But if you can you drink the gas? No, because the fuel for you is different than the fuel for the body. Similarly, the fuel for this body is different than the fuel for Atma. आत्मा को पिज़्ज़ा नहीं चाहिए, आत्मा को समोसा नहीं चाहिए. समोसा किसको चाहिए? टंग को चाहिए. समोसा किसको चाहिए? केक किसको चाहिए? केक सबको अच्छा लगता है. केक एनीबॉडी लाइक्स द केक. गुलाब जामुन, यू लाइक इट? Everybody loves it, huh? But Atma is not interested because you can't eat like 10 gulab jamuns, 50 gulab jamuns. It's a limit. Finish. But Atma, like spiritual happiness is eternal, right? So if you like, say, some, if you go to a sunrise, beautiful sunrise, you see, it's so beautiful, such a wonderful spectacle. You can see sunrise every day by the seashore because that is a spiritual, right? So spiritual things are eternal. You never get bored with the spiritual. Ram, 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 Ram. You can chant forever. But can you chant water, water, water? You'll get tired because that is the power of spirituality, right? So Atma is eternal. So Atma needs different. So then the characteristics of the soul. The summary of these shlokas is that soul is Sachitananda Vigraha, full, eternal, full of knowledge. Where is the soul situated? It is situated in the region of the heart. But you cannot see the soul actually, but it's there in the area of the heart. There's a region in the heart which is called SA node, which releases the signals, and that's where probably my guess is that that's the area where soul might be residing, but it is not mentioned in Upanishad or anything. But it says that the soul is in the region of heart. So what happens when you heart transplant? Do you get another soul? No, you don't get another soul. The soul, heart is just the seat on which the soul lies. So if you remove the chair and put another chair, then the soul will come back and sit on the same. That's what happens when the transplantation happens. So the soul is same. So the person will remember everything. He remembers that, okay, it's not that he forgets his life because the soul is the same. You get the point? Yeah. Then I said that the soul is the size of the 1/10,000 of the tip of the hair. A very tiny mind. Yeah? So this is the size of the soul. Sachitananda Vigraha. So now currently what is happening? Our soul is transmigrating through Choraichi Laksha Yoni, 8,400,000 type of species, right? So we are transmigrating from bird, animals, insect, reptiles, aquatics, and then monkey, human being, right? So we can be transmigrating from n number of bodies. So what is the importance of this? Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So important is that we should not worry all about our life about the body. Huh? We should worry about the soul actually. Huh? When you have examination, what do you see? Like tomorrow is exam. What do you read today? The important topics. You don't want to waste your time, right? These are like highlighted points you read. Like when you read, you highlight what are the important things. You read that before the exam, right? Similarly, what is important for your life? The Atma. So in the daytime, we make sure we spend some important time for the spiritual services also, right? So like modern civilization is all about cage policing civilization, right? You see all advertisements, everything about body. Better car, better house, better bungalow, better watch, better phone. Everything is about body. But have you seen any advertisement about spiritual? Nothing, right? Because nobody buys spirituality. It's easy to correlate with the body, uh, but it's very difficult to understand about Atma. Why? Why it is difficult? Why the spirituality is not in high demand? Why not everybody interested in Bhagavad Gita? Because we have forgotten it for so long. So many lives we have been spending thinking that I am this body. So it's very difficult to understand it in one life. But if you find a right guru, you can understand it, right? So cage policing, more we concern about the body, more we are trapped in this body, right? So with that, Lord Krishna explains Sankhya Yoga to Arjuna. Okay? You all got the Sankhya Yoga? Yeah? What is the Sankhya Yoga?
Science of soul.
But what is important about Sankhya Yoga? I am not this body but spirit soul. I am a soul having a human experience at this time. अभी मुझे क्या है, मनुष्य शरीर मिला है, तो मेरा क्या है, आई एम टेकिंग द एक्सपीरियंस ऑफ ए ह्यूमन लाइफ. जैसे कि आप प्लेन में जा रहे हैं तो आपको प्लेन का एक्सपीरियंस आ रहा है ना. जब आप ट्रेन में जाएंगे तो ट्रेन का एक्सपीरियंस आएगा. जब आप बाइसिकल पे जाएंगे तो बाइसिकल का एक्सपीरियंस आएगा. वैसे ही अभी आपको मनुष्य जन्म है तो मनुष्य का एक्सपीरियंस आएगा. जब भी आप ये शरीर छोड़ेंगे तो फिर क्या हो जाएगा, अगला जन्म हमें मालूम नहीं है. समझो मंकी का मिला तो फिर यू विल बी इन द मंकी बॉडी हैविंग द सोल हैविंग द मंकी एक्सपीरियंस. सो दिस इज द science of soul. So we are very tiny. We are covered by two layers of covering. One covering is the mind, intelligence and ego, which is the inner covering. Outer covering is the sthula sharira. And then we are. So what is the practical application of this? All this science of soul we learned. He said, I'm not this body, I'm the soul, and my body is going to get finished. So what is the practical application of this? So Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita in 2nd chapter 14th sloka, what he says, that Sitoshna Sukha Dukkada, you have to tolerate. The inconvenience of the body has to be tolerated. We should not complain about everything in the life. Our body is made for discomfort. We are not comfortable in this body. And that is true actually, because this is not our natural place. We are put into this body. Somehow the soul is put into this body because of the karma in the past life, right? So we have to tolerate either heat or cold, mana, apamana. Somebody respects this body, somebody disrespects this body. But it's okay. Somebody says good about this body, oh, you're looking good. Somebody doesn't appreciate this body. Doesn't matter. Why? Because I'm not this body, right? So whether he says good or bad, doesn't matter. So we have to tolerate. Second thing, application of this Bhagavad Gita is that we have to use our intelligence and not spend all the life for the body. अगर पूरा जीवन खाने पीने सोने में लगा दिया तो फिर क्या फायदा? क्योंकि Lord Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that kalosmi, as we were saying, that if you do not value this sharira, then what will happen? काल सर्वस्व हरस्य हम. तो काल आके सब कुछ लेके जाएगा आपके पास से. फिर आपके पास कुछ नहीं बचेगा. जो समय आपके पास है किस लिए है? तो हायर बुद्धि, बुद्धि है ना हमारे पास, इंटेलिजेंस, इंटेलिजेंस से हम क्या करते हैं, सोचते हैं, है ना, फ्यूचर के बारे में। ह्यूमन और एनिमल्स के बीच में क्या फर्क है? व्हाट इज द डिफरेंस बिटवीन ह्यूमन एंड एनिमल? वन डिफरेंस somebody can tell, what is the difference?
Humans can do anything.
Humans can do anything, for example
Driving the car.
driving the car. You can train an animal to drive a car, it's not that difficult.
Human thinks so much.
Huh?
Human think first before doing anything.
Well, animals also think before they do it. Like if you keep a milk here, and the cat will see everybody, cat will think, oh no, I will not go now, I will go when the
Have a capability to think what is right and wrong.
animals also do have a capacity to think what is right and wrong.
But
Humans
humans
are
go towards materialistic things.
Very good, very good, he's coming on the right point. Yes,
Humans can learn and educate.
humans can learn and teach others, that is true. Animals also do teach others. So what he was saying is correct. We have a in Bhagavad Mahabharata there is a shloka, ahar nidra bhay maithunancha samanyeta pashubi samanam dharmo hi eka adhiko vishesho. So what is the difference, main difference between human and animals? Humans do all the activities same as animals. Only one thing which humans have a prerogative is the search for the higher truth. Is there any God? This is the only humans can search. This question a dog cannot ask, is there a God? भगवान है क्या नहीं, ये प्रश्न पूछना बुद्धिमान मनुष्य का व्यक्ति का है। भगवान है तो कहाँ है? What is the name of that God? If there is really God, why bad thing happens to good people? अगर भगवान सच में है तो छोटे बच्चे की मृत्यु क्यों हो जाती है? तो ये जो प्रश्न पूछ सकता है ये मनुष्य है। हाँ, उसको क्या कहते हैं? अथात ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा। ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा यानी कि ये आकाश के बाहर भी और कुछ है या सिर्फ सृष्टि यहाँ पे ही है, बाहर सृष्टि नहीं है, यहाँ ही मनुष्य है या मनुष्य सूर्य पे भी है, चंद्र पे भी है, ये बुद्धिमान मनुष्य विचार कर सकता है ना। इसको कहते हैं ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा। क्या कहते हैं? ब्रह्म जिज्ञासा, कि मेरी मृत्यु के बाद क्या हो जाएगा मेरा, वाई डू हैव टू टेक बर्थ अगेन, क्या मैं जन्म मृत्यु का चक्र फिनिश कर सकता हूँ या फिर बार बार जन्म लेना पड़ेगा? ये जो प्रश्न पूछता है वो मनुष्य कहलाता है। नहीं तो जानवर भी खाते हैं और हम भी खा रहे हैं, जानवर भी बच्चे पैदा करते हैं और हम भी कर रहे हैं, तो हमारे में जानवर में क्या फ़र्क रहा? वो भी सोते हैं हम भी सोते हैं, वो भी मरते हैं हम भी मरते हैं। लेकिन जो बुद्धिमान मनुष्य है वो क्या करता है? वो सोचता है कि अरे भगवान है तो फिर इतना डिस्क्रिमिनेशन क्यों है? कुछ लोगों के पास खाने के लिए नहीं है, इसके पास बहुत सारा खाना है, और फिर वो आदमी बहुत अच्छा था, उसके जीवन में इतना खराब हो गया, ये कैसे हो गया? अगर भगवान है तो फिर ये क्यों होता है? One who tries to find the answers for this truth is a real intelligent man, and that is called as spirituality. बाकी तो फिर रिचुअल यानी क्या कि घंटी बजा के चले जाना, उसको नहीं कहते हैं। स्पिरिचुअलिटी यानी क्या कि भगवान के दर्शन किए, फिर ये भगवान जो कृष्ण है, ये भगवान जो राम है, इन्होंने क्या शिक्षा दी है, चलिए इनके बारे में थोड़ा पढ़ते हैं। आप आ तो गए मंदिर में, अभी भगवान कृष्ण की क्या शिक्षाएं हैं? तो ये है भगवद गीता। रामचंद्र जी की क्या शिक्षाएं हैं? देयर इज राम गीता ऑल्सो। आपने सुना है कभी राम गीता के बारे में? देयर इज राम गीता ऑल्सो। लॉर्ड रामा ऑल्सो इंस्ट्रक्टेड टू शबरी, तो उसकी भी कहानी है, हम कभी बताएंगे। तो इसको कहते हैं बुद्धि। बुद्धि यानी क्या? इंटेलिजेंस। इंटेलिजेंस इज नॉट दैट द पर्सन हु बिकम्स MBA और डॉक्टर और PhD, that is material. The intelligent person will think, oh, why not everybody get the same opportunity? This is what is important. So we have to think about that. Those answers are there in Bhagavad Gita. So people who are intelligent will read Bhagavad Gita and try to find the answers for these questions, like that. So this is called Buddhi Yoga or Karma Yoga. So Lord Krishna explains about that. And then the application of this Sankhya Yoga is to know that the senses are temporary. The senses are not me. I am not the horses. Right? If I want to drive my chariot properly, what I have to do? I have to control the horses. So I have to control the senses. Senses and the mind, both. Yes, that's true. तो मुझे मन और इंद्रियों को कंट्रोल करना पड़ेगा, ये भी इसका एप्लीकेशन है। So, Matra Sparshastu Kaunteya Sitoshno Sukha Dukkha Agam Apaino Nityastam Sutikshava Bharata. तो भगवान अर्जुन को कहते हैं कि हे अर्जुन, तुझे ये गुड और बैड, एवरीथिंग इज टेम्पररी, अच्छा या बुरा कुछ काल के लिए, परमानेंट नहीं है ना. यू माइट बी हैविंग सम मनी नाउ, tomorrow you may not have, and you do not have money now, tomorrow you will have it. Doesn't matter. Because why? Because it is temporary. I'm not worried about it. Right? Somebody says good about me today, and then tomorrow the same person will criticize me. That's okay. Doesn't matter. Because I know that the nature of this material world is temporary. Sunrise and sunset, it's a temporary. Right? Similarly, life and death is all part of the cycle. Only thing which is permanent is the change. Change is permanent, right? The soul is permanent. The change will happen. The body will change. So we have to tolerate them. Tolerate means don't complain about it too much. Is that okay? Then Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, Buddha yukto yaya partha karma brandha prahasyasi. Buddha means intelligence. So hey Partha, you become intelligent, and with the Buddha yukto yaya partha karma bandham prahasyasi. Karma bandhana. Bandhana means bondage. So karma bandhana means whatever the karmas we are doing now, we have a bondage. अगर आपने कुछ पाप किया तो उसका आपको बैड रिजल्ट मिलेगा. आपने कुछ पुण्य किया तो गुड रिजल्ट आएगा. गुड एंड बैड इज देयर. दैट इज कॉल्ड बंधना. सो इफ यू डू गुड बैड कर्मास, व्हाट विल हैपन? The bad karmas will fructify in this life or the next life. You might get a bad result in this life or maybe in the next life, but you will never escape. And the good karmas you did, you might get a good birth here or good result here or next. So this is called bandhana. Because of bandhana we are getting birth again and again. So Lord Krishna says that if you use your intelligence and you act with the karma yoga principle, then you will get release from this bandhana. So what is karma yoga principle? This is a very famous shloka. Do you all want to recite with me? कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन मा कर्मफल हेतुर्भुर्मा ते संगोस्तव कर्मणि. Have you heard this shloka before? कर्मण्येवाधिकारस्ते मा फलेषु कदाचन. तो क्या मीनिंग है बताइए? Have you heard this before, right? You said yes. So what is the meaning of this shloka?
कर्म का फल हमें मिलता ही है.
कर्म किए गए फल की इच्छा न कर, जैसा तेरा कर्म होगा वैसा ही फल होगा.
So this is the most misunderstood shloka on the planet. जितना फेमस है उतना ही मिसअंडरस्टूड श्लोका है. लोगों को लगता है कि उनको समझ में आ रहा है और इसको कोट भी करते हैं हिंदी में कभी कभी. कर्म की इच्छा मत कर, फल करते जा. लेकिन इसमें कुछ अलग ही लिखा है एक्चुअली में. समझना है आपको. क्योंकि लोग गलत तरीके से समझाते हैं. तो हम क्या करेंगे इसको एक एक शब्द. कर्मण्य यानी काम, ड्यूटी. एव मीन्स ओनली. अधिकार मीन्स राइट. सो यू हैव ओनली वन अधिकार. व्हाट इज योर अधिकार? कर्म करना है ना. कर्मण्य एव अधिकार अस्ते. आपके पास कितना अधिकार है? एक ही अधिकार है. क्या है? काम करने का अधिकार. यानी क्या कि योर राइट. लाइक फॉर एग्जांपल यू हैव अधिकार, राइट टू वोट. नोबडी कैन टेक अवे योर राइट टू वोट as long as you are obedient citizen, right? Is that right? You have certain rights, like say you are son of your father, so you have a right of your father's property, something like that. We have all rights. So what is our eternal right? Only do karmas. Now you cannot claim the fruits of your karma, and that is what we do actually. We claim the fruits, and that is why we are in trouble. Ma faleshu kadachana. Ma means never. or not? Phala means fruits, results, right? Kadachanaha. Kadachana means at any time. So Lord Krishna says at any time you have no rights over the fruits. Why? Because fruits are multifactorial. What is in your hand? Plant the seed, water the seed, protect the seed, give the enough nutrition to the seed. But whether the seed will fructify into a tree, is that in your hand? No. Why? Because that is dependent on multiple factors. For example, like some storm or weather or some animal activity or somebody damages the seed. We don't know, But you tried your best to plant the seed, water the seed, protect the seed, give the nutrition. Now, whether the tree will come or not, and if the tree comes, what is the guarantee that fruits will come? Why? Because again, it's multifactorial. So, what is in your hand? Just do what is you're supposed to do. But the outcome is not in your hand. You might have done your 110%, but outcome may not be favorable because, like, say, you wrote an exam paper, you wrote everything correct, but now the examiner who is examining your paper, it depends upon his mood now. If he has a fight with his wife or something, then he will be very angry. He might not give you enough marks also. It's not good. Because the examiner's mood also depends, like you have oral viva examinations, and the examiner's mood counts a lot. Like if somebody has disappointed him just before you are done. Is that right? He might ask you the most difficult question you have never thought in your lifetime because his mood is. But can you control his mood? No, because what was in your hand? Just to read for the exams, but to control his mood is not your area of this thing, right? So Lord Krishna is saying that to Arjuna that hey Arjuna, your duty is to work as a soldier, but you are thinking about the outcome. They will be killed. This will be killed. This will be killed. How do you know? And by thinking that you are stopping your duty. So he says, Ma karma phal heturbhur. Mate sangostava akarmani. Mate sangostava akarmani. Akarmani means not doing the karma. So he says that by thinking that you will think, oh, I'm not doing the duty. Or some people might think, oh, if the fruits are not in my hand, why should I work? I will go to sleep. That is also not good. Because even though fruits are not in your hand, you have to work. Because unless and until you work, you will not get anything. A lion who is the king of the jungle, he doesn't keep his mouth open and say, all the animals come in my mouth. It doesn't happen. Even though he's a king, he has to go for hunting. And then animal will get or not, that is secondary. But lion has to go for hunting. Similarly, Lord Krishna says that Mate Sangostava Karmani, Ma Karma Phal Heturbhur. Now, Ma Karma for Heturbhur. Hetur means that if you get the fruits, don't think that this is because of you. Because it was never because of you. It is multifactorial, है ना? कोई अच्छा रिजल्ट आ जाए तो क्या करते हैं? मैंने किया. I did. Oh, you didn't do it. Just you planted the seed, but there are so many other factors who involved to make that fruit happen. Is that everybody understood this? So to raise a child, you say, this is my son. Oh, forget about it. You just gave a birth, you might have given him some food, but so many people contributed to the growth of your son. Teachers, parents, friends, family members, everybody contributed. Is that right? So that they say to raise a child needs a whole village, actually. And that's true, actually. So you don't think that you are the one who did everything. You understood this shloka? So this is a very important shloka of Bhagavad Gita which is most misunderstood because कर्म किए जा फल की चिंता मत कर. ऐसा नहीं है. कर्म करो, फल आपके हाथ में नहीं है क्योंकि ऐसे भी नहीं था और ऐसे भी नहीं रहेगा क्योंकि it is a multifactorial thing. But that does not mean that you stop doing the karma and that does not also mean that you take the credit also. कभी कभी हम क्रेडिट लेना चाहते हैं या फिर छोड़ देते हैं। तो ऐसा नहीं करना है हमें, हमारा कार्य 110% we have to do. I will do my best whether the people come for Bhagavad Gita class or not. Is that in my hand? Whether you guys come here or not, is that in my hand? My duty is to invite you, to remind you, to give my best, to prepare myself. And what else I can do, right? But else is multifactorial. Just depend upon your mood, your family, your work circumstances, your personal situation, your health. So many things are there. Can I control all those? I cannot. What can I control? My karma. And that is what is Lord Krishna telling here, Arjuna. You have right to perform your prescribed duty, but you are not entitled to fruits of your action. Never consider yourself as the cause of the result of your activities. Don't take the credits. We are there always first to take credit. Oh, who did this? I did it. Never be attached to not doing your duty. Then further Krishna says, Yada samharte chayam kurmo nigvava sarvasha indriyani indriyarthibhyas tasya pragna pratishtita. So now, in addition to knowing about this, how to control the senses, because to control the senses is also part of Sankhya Yoga, right? Because horses are to be controlled. So how do you control the horses? So Lord Krishna is giving an example. Kurma anigrava sarvasha. Which means that one who is able to withdraw his senses from the sense object just like a tortoise, kurma, is, and draws his limb within the shell is firmly fixed in perfect consciousness. So what is the kurma? Kurma means turtle. What does turtle do? Turtle has a shell and then it withdraws its limb. The turtle's limbs are very soft. The head is very soft, the limbs are very soft, and the shell is very hard. I will give you a video here. I have a video here. This lion is attacking this turtle, okay? Just see the lion attacking the turtle, and what does the turtle do? Look at that. The lion is approaching the turtle, and what is turtle doing now? It will withdraw all his limb within the shell. So the lion is not able to kill the shell. You get it? Or not? Lion is trying to eat the turtle. Now, if its limbs are out, which are soft, then what will happen? The soft part lion can easily eat. So he can easily kill. But now the lion is not able to kill him. Why? Shell is very hard, right? So what does that mean? So we have to control our limbs, control our senses. Don't use them when it's not required. Just put it underneath. When you don't need the eyes, close the eyes. When you don't need the ears, just don't listen to anything bad. Gandhiji has three monkeys. Don't see bad, don't hear bad, don't talk bad. Have you seen those monkeys? So that means that we have to control our
How
sense.
Arjuna was single-handed and the Lord didn't help him in his
Lord help through Bhagavad Gita. When Arjuna heard the whole Bhagavad Gita, then Arjuna was victorious. He fight the war because Arjuna could control his senses. He could control his mind, his intelligence, right? So here, Lord Krishna is saying that you control your senses. So no need of utilizing the senses when they are not required. Yeah. So, like for example, some of the things in our life are not required. We don't worry about it. Hmm? Then further Lord Krishna says, Indriyam hi charantam yo mano anudvidyache tad asya harati pragnam vayurnavam ivambasi. This is very important shlokas. As a strong wind sweeps away a boat on the water, even one of the roaming senses on which mind focuses can carry away man's intelligence. So we have to control our senses. So one of the sense, if it is roaming, then it will carry away your intelligence. So when you are not required, just close it. Don't use it when the eye is not required. When do you use the eyes? When you are driving or when you are taking darshan of Krishna, when reading Bhagavad Gita. Or unnecessary use of eyes, not required. Ears, listening the good things, positive things, listening Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam. The tongue, eating prasadam, talking useful things. When you talk nonsense, what happens? You create your trouble for yourself, right? They say tongue is one organ which does not have a bone but can break your bones. You know that? You know that? How? How tongue can break your bones?
Like if we speak bad to other person,
They will
it
come
will come to us.
and they'll come and break your
It will
bones,
try
right?
to us.
So tongue is the organ, no bones, but can break your bones, right? So you have to be controlling very nicely. Use the tongue if it is required. Is that okay? So one of the even a boat on the water, if the strong wind comes, the boat will be tilted upside down. Similarly, in your life also, some circumstances will come, and they will put you. There is a story of an Ajamil, a Brahmana, very nice Brahmana boy, but once came across a prostitute, and he fall in association with the prostitute, and whole his life was a mess. So it's the friendship. So we have to control our senses, very important. Huh? Make sure our friends are having good influence on us. Otherwise, a strong wind will come and take away all your intelligence. Everything will be gone to ditch. So this is very important. So we have to be very strong in our sadhana. So further, next one, Krishna says, Apuryamana machalam pratishtam samudram apa pravishyati yadvat tadvad kamayam pravishyanti sarve sashantim apnoti na kamakami. Lord Krishna is saying, a person who is not disturbed by incessant flows of desires that enters like a river into ocean, which is ever being filled but is always still, can alone achieve a peace, not the man who strives such desires. What does that mean? That in the life lots of desires will enter. मुझे ये चाहिए वो चाहिए ये चाहिए वो चाहिए. Like in the ocean, lots of rivers enter. But what happens? The ocean is not disturbed. Let the rivers come. Doesn't matter. Similarly, lots of thoughts will come in your mind throughout the day. They say you have at least 60,000 thoughts in the daytime, and the night time another 60,000. So if you go crazy with 120,000 thoughts, not possible. So just control yourself. Let the thoughts come and go. Let the thoughts come and go. Not thoughts. Because you are not your thoughts. What are you? You are a spirit soul. You are different than the thoughts. So when you are chanting, anybody does japa? Okay, one day we'll do japa together. So Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So you are doing this. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Ram, Ram, Ram. And then the thoughts will start traveling. You will start when you are doing japa. At that time only you will think about your exam. Otherwise, you are not thinking about exam when you are watching a movie. But when you are doing japa, you will think about the exam. Oh my God, tomorrow is exam. Why I'm doing this and this. But you won't hesitate watching a movie day before exam. This mind is like that, right? So thoughts will enter in your mind. But then you have to be very careful not to get disturbed by the thoughts. You have to control your thoughts. Watch them. So in this way, the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita is finished. Then starts the third chapter of Bhagavad Gita where Lord Krishna, Arjuna is asking to Lord Krishna that, hey Krishna, I'm a little confused. Can you tell me more about this karma yoga thing? Because I cannot understand this karma yoga. So Lord Krishna says that Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishyati karma krit karyate hi avanash karma sarvam prakriti jair guna. Third chapter, fifth shloka. You want to all open the chapter, third, fifth shloka? Everyone is forced to act. Nahi kaschit kshanam api jatu tishtati akarma krit karyate hi avashya karma sarva prakriti jair guna. Everyone is forced to act helplessly according to the qualities he has acquired from the modes of material nature. Therefore, no one can refrain from doing something, not even for a moment. Let's understand this shloka. Lord Krishna is now explaining the karma in detail. As Arjuna says, hey Krishna, can you tell me more about this karma? I'm a little confused. You said that, okay, karmanya vadhikarasya, but can you elaborate a little bit more on this? So what is karma? So he said, okay, everybody is forced to do karma. Everybody means all animals, birds, reptile, insect, human being, everybody does karma. Even you are sleeping, you are doing karma. And you are working, you are doing karma. And you are not doing anything is also a karma. You understand? कुछ नहीं कर रहे फिर भी कुछ कर रहे हैं आप, क्योंकि उसको कर्म ही कहते हैं। हाँ? क्यों कर्म कैसे होता है? तो भगवान ने कर्म की व्याख्या दी है। ये जो श्लोक है इसमें कैसे हम कर्म करते हैं। सो भगवान कहते हैं कि सर्व प्रकृति जैर गुणा। प्रकृति मीन्स, ये बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट शब्द है इसमें। कैन यू हियर रिसीव द वर्ड प्रकृति? प्रकृति मीन्स द नेचर, and the nature has the three qualities. What are the qualities of nature? Three qualities. So what is the definition of karma? Karma means actions or activities performed by living entity under the modes of nature, and these are three modes, three qualities of nature, and they are under the control of time, kala. So in a particular time, under particular mode, you are performing action. So let's understand this a little bit in more detail. So what is this modes of nature? Guna. Have you heard about this before? Prakruti ke gun, three modes of nature. Yes, you said you have heard about it.
I have heard a bit about.
Yeah, can you say that a little bit?
I heard that the natures always has a different exit and entry point, and the three things that defines that.
Yeah, what are the three things? Yes, that's what I'm asking. Yes, that's very interesting. Yes, go ahead. नहीं याद है, no problem. So our nature means prakriti around us, the surrounding atmosphere around us has three main qualities. Like there are three primary colors. Everybody knows three primary colors: red, blue, and green. Green, right? So three primary colors, and then you mix them and you make 64 colors or 120 or so many colors you can make. But there are main three primary. Similarly, the surrounding atmosphere around us, nature, prakriti, has three main gunas. Guna means qualities. So what are these three gunas? So these are called as goodness, passion, and ignorance. And in the Sanskrit it is called Sattva Guna, Rajo Guna, and Tamo Guna. Have you heard about this before? Sattva Guna means mode of goodness, Rajo Guna means mode of passion, and Tamo Guna means mode of ignorance. So let's understand this, because the surrounding around us decides what we are doing at that particular time. For example, now your surrounding is temple. So what you are doing here, the work karma you are doing now is you're getting knowledge. Is that correct? Are you doing anything sinful? No, you're not doing anything sinful. And you're feeling better? Yeah? So this is called Sattva Guna. When you are under the influence of that surrounding, which gives you knowledge, which gives you purity, which gives you happiness, which prevents you from sinful activity, this is called Sattva Guna. Suppose you go to a movie theater. All of us go to a movie theater and we are watching a violent movie. And then we feel like, oh my God, what's going to happen in this further? And we are all stressed out because the movie has that thing, So it or some movie which creates like a desires, like some movies are like that, they create some sort of a lusty desire or greedy desire, something like that happens because movies have that power. Movies can create emotions, you get my point? Or you create, some movies creates attraction between like different things, male female attraction. Movies nowadays have that thing, they have a heroine, and then some songs like that, item songs, and this song, that song, they create attraction. So what sort of mood is that? Do you get any knowledge from that? Probably a little bit, but maybe not much. Does it create some sort of a desires in you, like I want to have this, I want to have this, I want to have this? Yeah, they do create some sort. Does it create like a attraction, some sort of a mental disturbance? Yeah, so that is called as Rajoguna. You understand this? Rajoguna. Rajoguna means it creates desires within your body. You understand? And then the third one is Tamoguna. For example, like say somebody goes to a casino and everybody is drinking alcohol, so he also drinks alcohol. Everybody is gambling, so he's gambling. Everybody is doing something mischievous, so he's also doing. What happens? So here he is not getting any enjoyment, he is not getting any knowledge. Actually, he is destroying himself. You understand? That is called tamoguna. So the environment around us controls us a lot. That's why our association, our surrounding has to be very important, right? So this is sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. It is just like everybody has seen the car. Car has that regulator. So you turn to right, it becomes hot. You turn to left, it becomes cold, and in the middle is neutral. You understand? Similarly, so the machine is the same, but you turn right, left, and middle. Similarly, you are the same, but what you associate with changes your nature. हाँ? अगर आप भगवत गीता के साथ रहेंगे, भगवान के साथ रहेंगे, तो आप में सत्व गुण आते जाएगा. आप अगर ज़्यादा मूवीज या वीडियोस या whatever you watch, what will it do? It will create that thing in your mind, the consciousness, and then you are sleeping like some people sleep for like 10 hours. Lazy, crazy. Then it creates a tamoguna. You understand? So this is the three gunas: sattva guna, rajoguna, and tamoguna. So sattva guna is one which gives you knowledge, one which keeps you free from sinful activities, and one which gives you a sense of happiness. Rajoguna, it creates unlimited desires. It forces you to like some sort of a karmic reaction, and it sort of attraction is created usually. And then tamoguna is madness, laziness, sleepiness, intoxication, and we are under this control. Actually, it is just like a strings pulling us, invisible strings. And then sometimes we are in the combination of all this, like three primary colors, you mix it, you have different colors. So sometimes sattva guna mixed with rajoguna, rajoguna mixed with tamoguna. 80% of the time, most of the people, can you guess what is the most common guna here among all the people around us? Which is rajoguna. Absolutely correct, absolutely correct. 80% of the time we are in the middle. And that is opportunity actually, because you have an option now, you go up or down. You are in the middle most of the time, and now you can decide whether you want to go to sattva guna or tamoguna. Which is easier? Tamoguna is easier. Why? Because going against the gravity is difficult actually. नीचे जाना इजी है, रजो से तमो बहुत इजी है, लेकिन रजो से सत्व जाने के लिए आपको मेहनत करनी पड़ेगी. सुबह जल्दी उठना पड़ेगा. Do get up early in the morning, do chanting, do japa, read Bhagavad Gita, do yoga, do some pranayam, or whatever you have to do for the good things, right? So your guna controls your actions. Your guna also controls what you eat actually. When you are in sattva guna, then they say that the food in the sattva guna is sattvic food. Very nice, yeah. So sattvic food is, let's talk about it. What is the sattvic food? So the food which is nutritious, juicy, like vegetables, vegetables, milk, like that, then food in the rajaguna, too salty, sweet, too salty or pungent or spicy food. And the food in the tamoguna, all the meat, decomposed food, it's tamoguna food. So when you eat food in the sattva guna, what will happen? You'll live good life, right? You will live longer without pain, problem, disease. When you are in rajaguna, it will create some sort of like, if it is too spicy, acidity there हो जाएगा, problem हो जाएगा. And tamoguna, it is not good for your body actually. It causes cancer or many diseases, right? Similarly, everything in your life, like happiness can also be in the rajaguna, tamoguna. Happiness in the rajaguna is all passionate, like people watching movies or sports or this or that is rajaguna. I'm not saying it's bad, but I mean it will take you down also, right? I'm not saying that you should, but it has to be controlled. Entertainment also has to be controlled. Right? And then the happiness in the mode of ignorance. Happiness in the mode of ignorance. Drinking alcohol, people think oh, I'm feeling good. They smoke and they say feeling cool. What cool? You're killing yourself. The smoke is cool. Nothing cool, right? So here, that's how the Lord Krishna is saying that, hey Arjuna, activities are performed by living entity under the three gunas. Our actions are controlled by the gunas. So we have to make sure our environment is clean. Otherwise your karmas will bind you. And if you do actions under sattva guna, it will liberate you actually. But if your actions under rajaguna or tamaguna, you'll undergo vicious cycle. Is that correct? So that is what it is very important. So Lord Krishna is saying here, Arjuna, like we have to do our duty. Lord Krishna says, Niyatam kuru karmatvam. Niyatam means regular, prescribed. Like you have given some prescribed daily duties. Like as a kshatriya, as a brahmana, as a student, as a teacher, as a husband, as a wife. Whatever you have duty, just do it, please. Don't give up. Some people say that, oh, Bhagavad Gita teaches you sannyas. No, Bhagavad Gita doesn't teach you like that. Bhagavad Gita prescribes you to karma. How? Perfectly well. If you learn Bhagavad Gita, your path is clear. You do your work exactly what you're supposed to do. No confusion left. Is that right? So perform your duty, prescribed duty. One cannot even maintain one's physical body without. So, like karma yoga does not mean not doing karma. Karma yoga means doing your duty as a student, as a father, as a mother, 110%. But there is a caveat. And what is the caveat? Next shloka, Lord Krishna says, work has to be done as a sacrifice. Huh? So Lord Krishna is saying, Yagnata karmano anyata lokoyam karma bandhana. So you do your duty 100%, but as a sacrifice. What does sacrifice mean?
I'm not doing for this person, I'm doing for the God.
Very nice, very nice, very nice. So work has to be performed as a yagna. You understand yagna? Swaha, swaha, swaha. Similarly, I am a doctor, for example, and I am treating the patient. I am thinking as my service to Krishna. Swaha, I am looking after one patient. This is my yagna for Krishna. I'm like, say you're a student, you're studying today. Today I am studying as a sacrifice for Krishna. My studies are my karma and I'm doing it as my yagna for Krishna. As a father, I'm looking for my family. I'm looking after it as a yagna for Krishna. So Lord Krishna is saying, Yagnartha karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. If you do not do as a sacrifice, then it will create a bondage. You understand? When doing as a sacrifice, it is a sattva guna. When you say, I am doing it, I want to get it, I want to get it, rajoguna or tamoguna. You understand? Yeah? So work done as a sacrifice Vishnu to be performed. Otherwise the work will cause bondage in this material world. And what happens when you are bounded? Are you happy when you are bounded with the shackles? You want to be free, right? And how you can be free? By yagna. All the work, whatever you do since morning. So, for example, you are cooking. Okay, everybody cooks, right? So, how can that cooking be a bondage? Because while cooking, even though you are vegetarian, you might be killing some bacteria or germs or something. Even the plants also is killing, right? Killing is a killing, right? If you kill a small animal or a big animal, it's a killing. So we tell to Krishna that, hey Krishna, I am cooking vegetarian food, but I have to survive, so I'm cooking vegetables. In that, I might be performing some bad karmas. So I'm offering this food to you as a bhoga, as a yagna. So you have a picture at home, Krishna picture. So आप जब खाना बनाते, what do? You prepare, then take a small tulsi leaf, put a tulsi leaf in the plate and offer it to Krishna and chant the mantra Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. And then say to Krishna that Krishna, this food you have given us Please accept it, make it a prasad, and we all will accept it as a prasad in our family. So that is called as yagna. So you can do yagna very simple, offer water also, offer flower also offer leaf also, doesn't matter. But whatever is your affordability, not non-vegetarian food, because killing of animals is not allowed. But offering the food to Krishna is very important. It's called Krishna Prasadam. Uh, If you do not offer the food, then you will have to take the karma. Then you are bound for karma, actually. If I come to your house and I take everything from your house without your permission, what will happen? You will complain to police. This guy is a thief. Take him, then police will come and investigate me. Is that right? But if I come to your house and I say, Prabhuji, I need this, can you please give me? You say, okay, please take it. Doesn't matter. Then I'm not bounded by the police. Why? Because Prabhuji gave me. Is that right? Similarly, in this world also, we are getting everything from Krishna. So we take it by his permission. Even you cannot take it without his permission, because otherwise that is a papa. You understand the papa? Like here in Canada, if you pluck a flower from somebody's garden, somebody can complain to the police. Without their permission, you cannot pluck a flower from somebody's garden. So similarly, whatever we have in this life, we offer it to Krishna. Say, Krishna, this is yours, but I want to have it. Can I have it? So water also, when you have drink water, you remember Krishna. Hey Krishna, thank you so much for giving me the water. And you remember it. So the easiest way is remember the mantra. So when you remember the mantra, which means that you are remembering Krishna and taking his permission, right? So when we drink, we eat, we do any karmas, we remember him, right? So that is what is the shloka here says? Yagnata karmano anyatra lokoyam karma bandhana. So we want to get away from bondage. We don't want to be sinner. We don't want to take away somebody's property without permission. We take Krishna's permission and Krishna, I am taking it. Please allow me. Is that right? Okay. So then further, Krishna says in 13th chapter 16th shloka, my dear Arjuna, one who does not follow in human life the cycle of sacrifice established by Vedas certainly leads a life full of sin. Mogam parthasa jivati. Mogam means sinful activity. So animals cannot do this. Animals cannot do the sacrifice because animals are lower consciousness. We have a higher consciousness. What is the higher consciousness? We can offer it to Krishna as a sacrifice. Can animal do? A dog cannot do it. Dog will start eating the food. But what will human do? Remember, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, and then take prasad. Hey Krishna, you are giving me, I am really thankful. Right? So that is yagna. Yagna means we have to follow the rules and regulations, right? That is yagna. Then further Krishna says in 3rd chapter 30 shloka, Mayi sarvani karmani sannyaside atma chetasa nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva jigata jvara. Therefore, O Arjuna, work as a sacrifice. Mayi sarvani karmani sannyasi adhyatma chetasa. Sarvani means all, karmani means karma. Sannyas adhyatma chetasa. Sannyasa means tyag karna. So Lord Krishna is saying that hence surrender all your work unto me. Mayi means me. Me means Krishna here. And nirashir nirmamo bhutva yuddhasva vigata jvara. And without getting any worry about profit, loss, gain, just don't worry about it. And yuddhasva vigata jvara. Just do your duty of fighting here, right? So Lord Krishna, he indicates that this is the purpose of entire Bhagavad Gita actually. But it is elaborately explained more in detail that whatever we do as a service to please Krishna. Is that right?
What does the last word mean?
Vigata jvara. Vigata jvara means that free from lethargy. Jvara means disease actually. So lethargy, Arjuna has a jvara. What is the jvara of Arjuna? He's very lazy, lethargic, he's not fighting. So Lord Krishna said, just give up the Vigata Jvara. Give up this laziness, lethargy, and just fight, Arjuna. Yuddhasva Vigata Jvara. Just fight. Further, so here is the summary of third chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Lord Krishna is saying that we should all perform our duties as a sacrifice to Krishna. Otherwise, the work will cause the bondage to us. Bhunjate tva adham papam. Papa means sin. So, whatever action we are doing, even though they might be good action, so-called good, eating vegetables, but they can be papa because you are taking it somebody's good property without asking that person. You understand? So somebody may say, okay, who is the witness of all this? Huh? Atma, God, nature. Who is witnessing all sinful activities? Somebody does sinful activities in a closed room. Stealing. Huh? On self. So there is a secret camera within all of us, which is called as the monitoring camera. There is a camera there monitoring all of us, right? Everywhere there is a security cameras, right? But Krishna is the original security camera. He is there in your heart as a Paramatma. In our heart there is Atma and there is Paramatma. We learned about the Atma. Now this comes the next concept, Paramatma. So we're going to learn. Bhagavad Gita has 5 main concepts. First is Atma, second is Karma, third is nature, fourth is Parameshwara or Paramatma, and fifth is time. So we are going to learn all the 5 concepts. So we learned about Atma, we're trying to learn about Karma. We haven't finished the Karma yet. And then now we are introducing the Paramatma, and we introduce the nature also. But we don't know much about the nature, which we'll learn more about in detail. So there is a Paramatma within all of us. There is a security camera which is monitoring us 24 by 7, 365 days a year. So it's continuously watching what is Gaurav doing today. And then everything is written there. You understand that? So the camera is there. So what happens is that in the human form of life, we have got this develop intelligence. So what do we do with this? We discriminate. Discriminate means viveka. Viveka means what is right and what is not correct. And live a responsible life, right? So if we engage in sinful activities like killing others, here you see this man killing a cow. What happens? The next life he is born as a cow, and that cow is born as an animal, and vice versa. They say in Bible. Anybody heard about Bible? As you sow, so shall you reap. Have you heard this? This is from Bible. Because Shishigonitai ki jai. So Shishigonitai ki jai, Shri Sitaram Lakshman Hanuman ji ki jai, Shri Radha Vatsal ki jai, Shri Jagannath Baldev Subhadra ji ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So this is another sentence from the Bible. You are what you eat. You are what you eat. If you eat good, Sattva Guna, the Sattva Guna will come. If you eat Rajoguna, the Rajoguna will come. If you eat Tamaguna, the Tamaguna. So what is the best food? Best food is Prasadam. Because in Sattva Guna also you can commit sinful activity, you can be bonded. But this is called Shuddha Sattva. This is beyond Sattva, which is called Shuddha Sattva. When you do activities in Sattva Guna as a sacrifice to Krishna, it is called Shuddha Sattva. That is called pure goodness. The goodness, you try to take credit. But in the pure goodness, you give credit to Krishna. So what is the best? So what is the best food? Prasadam. Right? So when you go outside, even it is a vegetarian food, you offer it to Krishna in your mind. Krishna, I am taking this. Please allow me to take. In the home, you have a facility. You can offer it to Krishna. But if when you are traveling, say you're on a flight and you have written vegetarian meal and vegetarian meal comes to you, before that you offer in your mind, because the Krishna is there, it's in your heart as a Paramatma. So you say to Krishna in your heart, Krishna, I'm taking this food, please make this as a prasad. You take it like that. Huh? So this is a picture from Bhagavad Gita as it is. When you go through book, there is a picture. In this life, if you kill animal, then in next life you will be born as a tiger. If you like eating meat, then you will be born as a tiger. If you like sleeping, you will be born as a boar. Or if you like exposing yourself, then you will be born as a tree. So what you do, you get the things. Some people like exposing themselves. They don't wear the cloths. Nowadays is a fashion. Nanga रहने का fashion हो गया है. So then trees doesn't have clothes. So if you have like that exposing mentality, Krishna says, okay, tathastu. Because Krishna is there in your heart. So he is fulfilling all your desires. So if you have a desire to eat meat, tathastu, get born as a tiger. If you like sleeping too much, okay, you get a birth as a bear. If you like eating anything, some people eat anything. You're born as a hog. A hog can eat anything, right? So like that. So we have to be very careful. This life is a very responsible life. We have to avoid illicit activities, meat eating, gambling, intoxication, because these are pillars of sinful life, right? So that is why our Guru Maharaj, Srila Prabhupada, he gave 4 basic principles in the spiritual life. First is no meat eating. No eggs, no fish, no meat. Second is no gambling. Because gambling is just like cheating. Third is no intoxication. No intoxication means no drinking alcohol, smoking, drugs, even tea and coffee. Tea and coffee is also intoxication. Like I haven't taken tea for last 20 years. Not a single cup of tea or a drop of tea or a coffee, because it gives you a willpower actually. When you stop something which you are used to, it gives you more willpower and it prevents you from, because tea and coffee are the stimulants, they stimulate your brain and then you feel better. But when they are not there, then you go down. You get it? That's why people drink coffee, Robin Donuts and then Tim Hortons have this big line of why? Because people are dependent on them. As soon as people get up, the first thing they want is coffee, because they can't survive like crazy, because life is addicted. Then first you take coffee with the milk, now you need like double or triple. I don't know what sort of coffees they have, but they have so much addiction. So tea and coffee is also addiction. We should try to avoid as much as possible. And then no relationship outside marriage life. That is also very important. So these are very important rules and regulations. We must all follow them in our life. Then it will lead to Sattva Guna. Otherwise we are creating a grave for ourselves. Sins are like somebody who is watching me. Krishna is watching everything. You might escape in this life, but you won't be escaping ever. One day or other it will hit you. And that is where the answers lie. Why bad thing happens to good people? Because they might have done something which they escaped in the previous life. Right? We'll talk more about it. So we will surely suffer karmic reactions, right? And karmic reactions might hit you in this life or next life. So bija may come, like if you plant a cilantro seed, you know cilantro? Cilantro is like coriander. Mustard. So mustard seed plant किया तो क्या होता है? Plant comes in 7 days. But if you plant a coconut tree seed, it will take a few years. But it will come one day. Right? Similarly, some karmas will fructify immediately. Other fructify after next life also. So it depends, right? But every action has equal and opposite. What is that called as? Newton's third law, right? Every action has equal and that is the law of karma actually. Newton learned from karma. So we have to be very careful and not to degrade ourselves. If we degrade, if we do all the abominable activities, then human life is not guaranteed. Next life, you will degrade. Whatever facilities we have, like nice parentage, nice family, nice society, nice economic background, nice country, everything will be finished. Is that right? Because you lived irresponsible life, right? So Lord Krishna says to Arjuna, and then Arjuna asks Lord Krishna, you know what? We will pause here because it's 1 o'clock, but this is a very interesting question. Arjuna Ucha Atha Kena Prayoktaha Papa Charita Purushaha. So Lord Krishna, Arjuna is saying, sorry, to Krishna, by what is one impelled to do sinful acts? Even unwillingly as he is engaged by the force. So पाप तो डिस्क्राइब हो गया. तो अर्जुन पूछते हैं भगवान ये पाप कैसे होता है. Sometimes people do papa even though they know that this is a papa, they do it. The thief who is stealing knows that this is sinful. So why people do papa? So we'll discuss it when we meet next Saturday. Okay, is that okay? Maybe before that, if you are curious, then try to find the answer from Bhagavad Gita, 3rd chapter, 36 sloka onwards. Okay, so we are almost finished with this chapter actually, 3rd chapter. Now only 4 5 slokas are remaining, and then we wanted to start with the 4th chapter. But I think it's good we revise some of the basic stuff. Next week we won't revise that much because today we wanted to go over the first, and but very important for all of us will be like as Arvik did and as Vishnu did and some of you, every one of us make 1 minute or 2 minute presentation. It will reinforce this what we studied. So have a Bhagavad Gita. All of you have book. If you do not have, please carry this book with you as a library book and read it. And then when we are done with the course, then you can return it. Okay. So please take the book with you. Read the chapters, second and third, and try to make some notes. Bring your mind into it. If you like to prepare a PowerPoint, that's good. If you want to make a video, that's also fine. Whatever you feel comfortable with, or Ardvik wrote it beautifully. I'm going to keep this with me. So this is a memory for me. So you can write, you can like Vishnu wrote nicely in a chart format. So it's really nice. So you can do variety of presentations. Why do we want you to do this? Because when you write or read or make the notes, it becomes permanent here. It won't lose it. So best way to remember any subject matter even for the school is the first revision has to be done in 12 hours. Second revision 24 hours. And third revision after 6 days. And then everything is permanent. Anything you read thrice within 7 days of time frame, the whole thing will become permanent in your life. You will never miss it. Yes. Homework, yes. So that's the homework for all of us is chapter number 2, whatever we did last few parts, shloka number, let's see what shloka number we did today onwards. We learned the science of soul. Okay, shloka number 39 onwards. Second chapter 39 to 72, and then almost whole third chapter. Okay, so third chapter I think has how many shlokas? Third chapter has 42 shlokas. 43, yes. So you finish all the shlokas. Is that okay? So just summarize and then maybe try to remember important Sanskrit words like you can read also. Doesn't matter. Is that okay? Thank you everyone for your time or your attention. Any questions before we leave? And if you have any questions, we'll talk in the Prasadam time. Okay? Happy Makar Sankranti to all of you. Happy Pongal. Happy Uttarayan. Happy Lohri. And it's a beautiful, wonderful day today. And this is like a very auspicious day among all. Today is the day when Bhishma Pitamaha decided to give up his life. This is the day when Ganga Mata appeared on the earthly planet. This is the very auspicious day of the whole year, Uttarayana. So in this day, more you spiritual activities you do, you'll get million times benefit. Today is the most auspicious day. So if you read Bhagavad Gita, if you chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, you'll get wonderful results. Bhishma Pitamaha in the battlefield of Kurukshetra, after the arrows were pierced in his body, he waited until the Uttarayan come. Because this is the most auspicious day when the sun travels to the north. This is where he decided that he is going to give up the body. So this is a most auspicious day. Do as much good activities you can do today. Try to avoid watching movies or anything which takes away your life, and just use it for the good cause today. At least today. I'm not saying every day. If you can do every day, that's the best. But if not, then today is the very auspicious day. Huh? So spend as much time with the spirituality as possible. Okay. Take prasadam, and tomorrow again, if you can come, that will be really nice. We're going to read about significance of Uttarayana. We'll learn about Bhishma Pitama's passing away. Like a beautiful story about Bhishma Pitama's last moment is given in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what we'll do tomorrow is we'll learn about how Bhishma Pitama actually gave up his body. It's a wonderful story. We'll also talk about some about the appearance of Ganga Mata. So please do join us tomorrow evening as well. Okay? Hare Krishna. Please take prasadam. Thank you. So we'll see you next Saturday. Yeah? Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much for joining for the first time. Again, I forgot your name. Krushit. Thank you, Krushit. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna, everyone. Thank you. Thank you, Drumbil. I hope you can join us next week. Please come. आइए प्रसाद लेते सब लोग